Hey guys, Ness here once again. Today we're taking on Act 6 for our hardcore Ruthless journey, and I think this is gonna be a good one for those of you who enjoy the hardcore side of things. And we're starting off strong here with a unique body armor-ish, which at this era level could be anything. But we get very lucky because it's actually a ghost rifle, which is just a lot of stats. I'm planning to use it as soon as I sort my links out elsewhere, since my current chest is handling that at the moment. We head to the Tidal Island next, because not only do we have a shot at a good magic belt, but I think this treasure pile is a new addition, where you can get a lot of gold here. Unfortunately though, the belt ends up being trash. Now here, we go for a jewel cache mirage, and after noticing my minions are dying a lot, I go out to raise my zombies again. I go back in, but now I'm kind of in the middle of all of them. I pause for a second to see if I'm actually in danger, but since I've made it out of the mosh pit, I just exit the mirage one more time. This is exactly why I don't normally play hardcore. I know this jewel cache isn't even worth it. But something in my brain just refuses to walk away from this mirage, and it probably isn't even about the reward anymore. This time, I use the grace period to figure out what's actually making these mobs so dangerous. And that's when I noticed the invulnerability aura. I tried to time breaking grace period with the aura running out, but I completely messed it up and ended up in a really bad spot, getting way too close to dying and losing my omen of death dancing in the process. So hopefully that's a lesson learned, especially now that I don't have the omen there to save my dumbass anymore. We go back to the mudflats, having finally accepted the mirage here is off limits, and settle for clearing the breach to kick off the Alif questline instead. We then push through to the Karif fortress, get our tattoo from this new area, and kill Tukohama before getting to our first support gem wish, which of course rewards us with life tap. At this point, we're probably gonna be haunted by this support for the entire series. After that, we randomly drop this pair of unique gloves from a mob in the barrage, which could actually be interesting for a future Chaos character because of the level 25 blight. But getting those gloves gives me the idea to gamble for linked gloves, since our current pair is very replaceable. So that's exactly what I do after we assembled Brooders. We end up with two decent options. One already has 4 sockets, while the other just has really solid stats. So we decide to try our luck with the rare one first. I also don't notice that the 4 scraps only brought it up to 17 quality, but it still hits 4 sockets and 3 links, which is good enough for now. That means we can finally equip the Ghost Rifle, even if it costs us the Carrion Golem in our emulate links for now. We also take a slight detour with our passives here, because now that Energy Shield makes up a much larger portion of our pool, it's important to have better ways to recover it. So we head towards the node that grants 50 ES on block. And after dealing with Slatha, I also remembered that our new body armor has a life modifier, meaning our life mastery no longer works, so I make sure to unspec it, allocating the notable and the block mastery here. Skipping ahead to the beacon, we drop this rare Jade Amulet which, despite having less life than our current one, gives us a lot of attributes and some rarity, so we decide to make the swap. We also throw a transmute on this Darkness strongbox, hitting increased item quantity, and immediately making the currency back with an augment and a chrome on top. With that, it's time for the Brine King. I'll let the fight play out, and then we'll head straight into Act 7.
Early into Act 7, we got our first essence in a while, and I've been missing those. We also drop a 4-link pair of setting glows we can craft on, and inside the Mirage, the essence finally ends up being Fear, which is exactly what we want for Minion weapons. So we'll be crafting with that shortly. Back in town, we take the Aquamarine Flask reward just to get some semblance of Fierce immunity, and afterwards we use the Minion essence on a Minion one, since I always try to keep at least one of these stashed away. And we actually hit Minion attack speed on top of the guaranteed Minion damage, which is a really nice result. To finish the crafting session, we throw an energy shield essence onto the 4-linked gloves and hit life plus some resistances. After that, we recolor them fully blue so we can finally add Carrion Golem back to the amulet setup. Here we drop a unique ring, which seems pretty nice for an Archmage build. And then, right after that, inside the Mirage, we find a Worm's Mold. Both good uniques, just not for this character. But then in the Chamber of Sins we drop yet another unique belt. This one is actually useful for us. The overall EHP is pretty similar to our current life belt, but the increased energy shield recharge rate is really strong now that ES has become our main defensive layer. Afterwards, we go for another Jewel Cache Mirage, and at this point, I'm starting to think these things are cursed, because just like the last one, I get dangerously low again. No Poda logout this time though. Still alive back in town, we identify a really strong axe with fast fizz, increased fizz and 20% attack speed. And it's strong enough that I think it finally makes sense to bring Animate Guard into the party. So after getting our Onslaught helmet and attack speed gloves, we're ready to bring Bob to life. We also identified this random rare chest just to give him a body. We find an ultimatum in the Temple of Decay that actually offers Pride as the very first reward. I got pretty excited initially, but later realized it's really not worth reserving the mana for this build. Most of our damage is already fire, and by the end of the campaign, Unholy Might will convert the remaining physical damage entirely to chaos. Thankfully though, it ends up being pretty risk-free since we only do the first round. After picking up yet another unique destined to get a dust in our stash, we head off to take on our Kali. I'll let the fight play out. This should be fairly comfortable now with the kills revs stacked up. POB is in the description as always. So that's Act 6 and 7 done, and with that out of the way, thanks for watching, and see you next time, if there is a next time.